Good evening and welcome to True Encounters. I'm your host, Marvin Allen. As always, I'm glad that I could bring y'all these encounters. So, without further ado, we're going to jump into this next encounter. Now, this next encounter happened in Tennessee. Now, the lady who shared this encounter with me told me that's all she would say is that it happened in Tennessee. She didn't give me the location of where she lived at or nothing like that. So I was just happy just to get her encounter. So the way she gave it to me is the way I'm going to give it to y'all. Without further ado, we're going to jump right into this one. She said one weekend she went over her girlfriend's house because girlfriend asked her to come over there, and spend some time with her. She would make dinner and they would eat and, sit around and talk. So she said she was over her girlfriend's house. Girlfriend made dinner and, they ate. Then they sat around and they talked for a while. And she said that about 9:30, quarter to 10, she told her that she was about to leave because, it was getting late. She didn't want to, drive on the road and get home, real late. So, she told her girlfriend bye and she left. She got in her car and she started, to drive home. She said she's driving home. Now, mind you, she said while she's driving home, some of these back roads that she driving on is real dark. So she said while she was driving, she was coming around a bend, around a curve. And she said that she was coming around a curve, she noticed something dart from the right to the left side. So she pulled on the brakes real hard. And she slid a little bit, scared, because car slid a little bit. And she stopped. And, it jerked her a little bit, even though she had her seatbelt on. She said she didn't know what it was. She said all she saw that it was a dark figure to run from the right to the left side. So she sat there. She looked to see if she seen anything. She didn't see nothing, so she said she continued, to drive on home. So she said she drove for about another 20, 25 minutes, and she said she finally got home. Pulled in a driveway, went in the house, got ready to go to bed. So she said while she was in her room, she was on her laptop, on her computer, doing some work stuff. So she said after she got off her computer, she got up to go in the kitchen, to get a glass of water, So she went in the kitchen, got a glass of water. She drank it while she was in there. And she put the glass in the zinc. She said then she started to walk back towards her room. Now, mind you, she said as you leave out the kitchen, she can leave out her kitchen, she can hit her living room. And in her living room, she said she got up like a patio. Like you can leave from out her living room and go out onto this patio. She said while she was walking through the living room, something caught her eye out her peripheral vision. Said she see something out the corner of her eye. She said she seen something dart from one side of her patio to the other, a dark figure. But she didn't know what it was. So she turns and she looked. Because she had those blinds that you could turn and they would open and you could see through the cracks of them and stuff like that. She said she had them kind of blinds. So she looks, but she don't see nothing. So she walks, and she said she walks right there to where her patio at. And she said she looking. She said she looking to the left, she looking to the right, but she don't see nothing. So she said she closed her blinds. She go into her room. Now, mind you, in her room, she has another window in her room. down from where she sleep. So she said she laying in bed. She trying to go to sleep. Now, in this particular night, she said she had her window cracked. Just up just a little bit. Not too far, but up a little bit. And, she just laying in the bed. And she said, before she really got into a deep sleep, she heard something at her window. Like something scratching on the side of the wood where her window is at. So she said she sets up and she looks over there. And when she looks over there, she see these, what she said was hands come inside of her window. These two sets of hands coming inside of her window. And she said she screamed from the top of her lungs that you could hear it from on the other side of Tennessee. She said them hands just pulled back out the window. She jumped up, turned on the light, went over there, and she shut that window. She slammed it. She said she was so scared and terrified that she could not go to sleep that night. She said she sat up all night. Said the next day she called the girlfriend. She called the girlfriend to confide in her. She said, but the only thing that hurt her when she told her girlfriend that she saw these hands come through her window, she said her girlfriend did not believe her. She said that you must have been drinking too much when you was over here and you must have hallucinated that. She said that brought tears to her eyes when her girlfriend told her that on that phone. She said that hurted her to the core that she didn't believe her. So she hung up the phone. So she said she stayed in, all that day. So she said a few days passed. Said she was coming from the market. She went to go make market and stuff like that. She was coming from the market. So she put all her stuff away in the house, in the cabinets, and in the refrigerator and stuff. So she said she was sitting on the patio one day. Now she said, when she's sitting on her back patio, she said about 30 yards is where this wood line would start at. So she said she's sitting out there one day. Now, mind you, she said it's still daytime. It's not night. She said it's still daytime. She said she's sitting out on her patio and she's looking over, just staring in the tree line. She said she don't know what made her look over there, but she was just looking. And she said when she looked over there in that tree line, she said she seen something running through the tree line from the right to the left. She said it ran so fast she don't know what it was. But she said she knew it was a dark figure. And she said it was real tall. She said it wasn't no ordinary size. She said this was tall, running through the tree line. So she said she shakes her head and be like, just got up, went in the house. She locked her patio door and stuff. And she said she stayed in for the rest of the day. Didn't go back out. She said, so a couple of weeks passed. So she in the house one night. Said when she in the house one night, she's sitting in her living room. And she said this particular night, she had those drapes open. So she's sitting down and she's on her, on her computer. And so she said while she was on her computer, she said that she noticed this shadow coming from the left of her patio to the right. She see this shadow. And when she looked over to the corner, she say she see this snout, like a nose, a snout, comes out and it walks. And now she said she see this thing. She said this thing was, it was tall because it was taller than the windows of her patio. She said that's how tall this thing was, and it was humped over, and it walked, and then it turned, and it looked dead through them blinds at her in her living room. She said she was so scared that she dropped her laptop on the floor. She said she didn't move though. She said this thing was just breathing. And she watching this thing. She said this thing was humongous. She said it was huge. She said it was built like a man, but it had legs like a dove. She said it had these long arms with hands, with claws. She said it was black in color, but it had gray. It had like gray streaks coming down the sides of his like his where the arms would be on each side. It had like gray in there. And she said this thing just sitting there watching her, breathing hard. And she could see the window steaming up. She said she terrified. She can't move at all. So she watching this creature. She said then this creature reached his arm up. And it put his hand on her window, she said. And then it took its claws and it ran it down the glass of her patio. She said it made this awful sound, man. It ran chills through her body. She said then this thing growled. And it was a low growl that she could hear the vibration of this growl through the window. She said she could feel it. She said so while she's sitting there, she said she started to cry and she started to pray. She said and as she was praying, she would hold her head down and look up. The creature started to turn and walk away as she started praying. And that creature left. She got up, closed the blinds. That night, she said she called the police. So when she called the police and they came out, she said when they got out there and she answered the door, she said she was so scared to tell them about what she saw because they wasn't going to believe her. She said she lied to them and said that it was a man standing on my back porch looking at me through my patio window. She said she lied because she knew that they was not going to believe her if she told the truth about what she saw. You know, and I was asking her, I said, can you please explain to me of what you saw when you saw this cryptid? She said, like I told you, it was black, it was tall, it had pointy ears, it had a long snout, long arms, hands with claws, and it had legs like a dove. She said, I'd never seen nothing like this in my life. She said, I didn't think these things exist. She said, I seen Bigfoot before, but she said a human dog that could walk upright, I don't know where these things come from. She said, but I don't never want to see one again. You know, and I told her, I said, if you ever need anyone to talk to, you got my number and you could call me anytime. It don't matter. If I'm doing something, I'm going to stop what I'm doing and I'm going to talk to you. So that was her encounter. I know it wasn't a long encounter, but I was just happy for her to give me that encounter and for me to share it with y'all. So I hope y'all enjoy it. If I have enough time, I'm going to hit y'all with another encounter because I have more. So, good night.